2025 will not be just another year on the calendar. It marks the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new era. This meaning is present in the symbolism of the number 9, obtained by adding the digits of 2025. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5. 5 equals 9. In numerology, the number 9 symbolizes the closure of cycles, accumulated wisdom, and the turning point before a new beginning. In Christianity, this number is even more powerful, as it is associated with divine justice, judgment, and the manifestation of God's will on earth. For God's chosen ones, 2025 will be the year of awakening. This will be the time when masks will fall, lies will be exposed, and the truth will be revealed before everyone. Everything that was hidden will be brought to light. Those who remained faithful to God, even amid trials, will be elevated and recognized. The chosen ones will take on positions of spiritual leadership and become guides amid the chaos. On the other hand, those who resisted the truth and lived in darkness will face divine judgment. It will not be the end of the world, but the end of an era of illusions and the beginning of a time of justice and revelation. God never abandons His chosen ones. Every struggle, challenge, and trial you faced was part of God's plan to strengthen you. Now, the moment of recognition has arrived. Those who endured the fire will be refined like gold, ready to assume positions of spiritual leadership. While the world faces crises and collapses, the chosen ones will remain firm and unshakable, for God has empowered them for this moment. The time of exaltation has come. If you want to continue following these revelations, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content. Stay tuned, because the awakening of the chosen ones has already begun. 2025 will be the year of the great spiritual battle. It will not be a physical battle, but a battle of spiritual forces. The symbolism of the planet Mars, associated with war and conflict, manifests here in a spiritual way. This war will be fought in the hearts and minds of people. On one side will be God's chosen ones, guided by truth and justice. On the other side will be those who resist the truth, trapped in illusions and ego. For the chosen ones, this battle has already begun. Many have felt intense emotional, mental, and spiritual pressure in recent times. This is no coincidence. The adversary knows that the chosen ones have a higher purpose, and for that reason, he seeks to divert them from the path. But God is with His chosen ones. They know they are not alone. Every challenge they have faced so far has been preparation for 2025. The chosen ones have already developed spiritual discernment and can see the difference between truth and illusion. While many succumb to fear and doubt, the chosen ones remain firm, guided by faith and the certainty that light always overcomes darkness. The fall of corrupt systems. 2025 will be the year of the collapse of great power structures. Industries, institutions, and systems that have kept humanity trapped in illusion will be exposed and brought down. This includes major corporations, media sectors, cultural industries, and corrupt religious institutions that have strayed from divine principles. The Bible has already warned us about this. There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. Luke 12:2-3. What once seemed untouchable will begin to crumble. The power of the proud will be destroyed, while the humble and the righteous will be exalted. The chosen ones will take the place of those who were at the top, because their mission is to lead the people to the truth. Jesus told us, "The first will be last, and the last will be first." Matthew 20:16. God's chosen ones, often invisible, those who lived in humility and obedience, will be called to lead. They did not seek fame or power, But precisely because of this, they will be placed in positions of spiritual leadership. God does not choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen, the judgment of the impure and the exaltation of the chosen ones. The book of 2 Thessalonians 2:10-12 says, "They perish because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie, and so that all will be condemned who have not believed the truth but have delighted in wickedness." This passage shows us what will happen in 2025. Those who refuse to accept the truth will be handed over to their own illusions. They will believe lies because they rejected the light and preferred darkness. It will not be an arbitrary punishment, but the natural result of their choices. But the chosen ones will not be deceived. They know the voice of God and understand that the path of truth is narrow and challenging. Their faith and courage will allow them to resist deception, for their minds have already been awakened to the divine purpose. 2025 will be the year when everything hidden will be revealed. It will not be the end of the world, but it will be the end of an era of illusion. Everything that was false will be dismantled, and everything that is true will be exalted. Those who remained in the shadows will be exposed, and those who walked in the light will be recognized. For the chosen ones, this is not a moment to fear, but a moment to rejoice and prepare. Every battle they have fought, every tear they have shed, and every moment of doubt was part of God's training process. You have been prepared for this moment. The time of truth, justice, and revelation has arrived. Those who built their lives on lies will see their foundations collapse, but those who remained in the truth will have their foundations strengthened. 2025 will not be a year of punishment, but a year of justice. Justice is not about vengeance, but about balance and correction. Each person will reap the fruits of their own actions. Those who sowed lies, greed, and injustice will face the natural consequences of their choices. But those who sowed faith, truth, and love will reap abundance, honor, and peace. The masks will fall, the truth will rise, and the chosen ones will lead. The world may look chaotic, but for the chosen ones, it is a time of clarity. While many will be paralyzed by fear, the chosen ones will rise up with courage and faith. While many will be lost in confusion, the chosen ones will have discernment and wisdom. This is the time of separation between those who seek the truth and those who cling to lies. It is the time when the proud will fall and the humble will rise. This is not a call for revenge, but a call for divine order. So, chosen one, stay strong and firm. The battle is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces. But do not be afraid, for you were born for this time. God has prepared you, strengthened you, and chosen you. This is your moment to take your place. Do not run away from your mission. You were not called to be part of the crowd, but to stand out as a leader. This is the reason you faced so many trials. Each battle was preparing you for this moment. Each tear shed was watering the seeds of your purpose. And now that seed is about to sprout. In 2025, justice will be established, and the chosen ones will take their rightful place. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5. The world is watching, but God is in control. Stay on the path of truth, for those who remain faithful will be exalted. The light will always overcome the darkness. If this message has spoken to your heart, like, share, and subscribe so you can continue to receive guidance and insight into these prophecies. The awakening has already begun, and you are part of it. Do not stay on the sidelines. Stand up, for your time has come. 2025 will be the year when the great spiritual battle will reach its peak. This battle will not be fought with weapons, armies, or physical confrontations. It will be an invisible battle, but one that will be intensely felt in the heart, mind, and spirit of every person. At the center of this battle will be God's chosen ones, those who have been called to be light amid the darkness. The symbolism behind this battle is connected to the energy of Mars, the planet associated with war, strength, and confrontation. But for the chosen ones, this war will not be external, but internal and spiritual. The confrontation will take place within each mind and heart. On one side will be the chosen ones, guided by truth, justice, and the light of God. On the other side will be those who resist the truth, cling to their ego, and allow themselves to be led by the illusions of the world. Many of the chosen ones have already begun to feel the effects of this battle. If you have experienced emotional pressure, mental fatigue, persistent doubts, and a sense of isolation, this is no coincidence. These are signs that the spiritual war has already begun. The adversary knows who the chosen ones are. He recognizes your value and the purpose that God has for you. That is why he intensifies his attacks to try to divert you from the path. The enemy does not attack those who have no value. He does not waste energy on those who have no divine purpose. The attacks against you are proof that you are important to God's plan. This means that you carry a light that disturbs the darkness. If you have ever felt thoughts of doubt, fatigue, or the belief that you won't make it, know that this voice does not come from God. God never tells you that you are incapable. On the contrary, he reminds you that you are strong, and that you already have everything you need to win. The words of God always bring peace, confidence, and courage. When you hear the opposite, you can be sure it is the enemy trying to weaken your mind. This spiritual struggle is strategic. The main battlefield is your mind and heart. The enemy tries to plant thoughts of failure, fear, and loneliness, because he knows that if he can control your mind, he can control your actions. Often, he tries to isolate you, making you believe that you are alone, that no one cares about you, and that God has abandoned you. But that is a lie. God never abandons his chosen ones. He is with you, even in moments of silence. Every struggle you have faced on your journey has been preparation for this battle. Every tear, every disappointment, and every closed door was not in vain. God used each of these situations to strengthen your faith and develop your spiritual discernment. Now, you can see clearly what you couldn't see before. You have become stronger and more aware of the difference between truth and illusion. The chosen ones are not easily deceived because the Holy Spirit guides them and gives them the gift of discernment. This means you have the ability to perceive what is false, even when everyone around you is believing the lie. While many are being deceived, you can see beyond appearances. This ability was not given to you by chance. It was given so that you can stand firm in this battle. If you are feeling tired, exhausted, and wondering if you are on the right path, do not give up. You are not alone, and everything that is happening is part of the divine plan. You are being prepared for something greater. Remember that the pain you feel now is not a sign of defeat, but evidence that you are growing spiritually. Every challenge you have faced has been part of spiritual training. Now, you have something that many people still do not have: spiritual discernment and unshakable faith. This makes you a threat to the adversary, but at the same time, it makes you a powerful ally of God. You were called to this battle because you were equipped to win it. So, do not give up. When the enemy tries to convince you that you are not strong enough, remember what God has already done in your life. He has already delivered you from worse situations. He has already given you strength when you thought you couldn't endure anymore. and He will not abandon you now. Thus, 2025 will not be just another year on the calendar. It will be the moment when God's chosen ones will be called to lead. For years, God has been training, shaping, and preparing them for this mission. Every challenge, every pain, and every obstacle faced along the journey had a greater purpose: to strengthen the chosen ones for the moment of the divine calling. Now that moment is approaching. The chosen ones will no longer be able to hide. Those who for years felt invisible, despised, or undervalued will be placed in positions of spiritual leadership. But for that to happen, they must be ready. The training has already taken place, but the process of perfection never stops. God does not call the unprepared. He empowers those He calls. And if you feel that this message is speaking to you, it is because you were chosen to lead. However, leading does not mean occupying a throne or a position of status. For the chosen ones, leading means guiding others with humility, serving the divine purpose, and illuminating the path for those still lost in darkness. This requires spiritual, emotional, and mental preparation. God does not want leaders driven by ego, but rather servants with pure and loving hearts. The chosen will be tested before assuming their positions. The enemy does not want you to rise, because he knows that when the chosen ones take their stand, darkness loses its strength. That is why trials intensify before victory. If you have been feeling emotional pressures, doubts, fatigue, and a sense of isolation, do not think it is a coincidence. This is the adversary trying to destabilize you before your elevation. He wants you to give up before you see the promise fulfilled. But God says, "Do not fear, for I am with you." Isaiah 41:10. Now the question is, how to prepare for this calling. God has been training you throughout your journey, but there are important actions you need to take to be fully ready. This is the moment to strengthen yourself, to break free from the old, to recognize your spiritual identity, and to develop the wisdom and discernment needed to lead. Strengthen your faith and trust in God. The first thing you need to understand is that without faith, it will be difficult to withstand what is coming. The coming years will not be easy. The world will go through profound changes, crises, and trials. Those who are not firmly grounded in God will be easily swept away by currents of fear and confusion. But the chosen ones will be unshakable, because they know that control is not in human hands, but in God's hands. Having faith does not just mean believing that God exists. Having faith means fully trusting in His plan, even when you do not understand what is happening. It means believing that even in the chaos, God is working for your good. Often, human beings try to control everything, but control is not in our hands. When you understand this, fear disappears. The chosen ones know that God is never late. If you are waiting for something that has not yet arrived, be patient. God is in control. Sometimes He delays a blessing because you are not yet ready to receive it. Therefore, use this waiting period to strengthen your faith. Trust, even without seeing. Trust, even without understanding. If God said you would be a leader, then He is preparing the way. Faith is like an anchor that keeps the ship steady even during a storm. Without faith, fear takes over. Without faith, doubts grow stronger. Without faith, uncertainties become giants. But with faith, you can cross any storm, knowing that, in the end, the sun will always shine again. Break free from the past. To assume the role of a leader, you need to leave the past behind. Many people carry burdens that no longer serve any purpose. These burdens may be resentments, fears, limiting beliefs, and habits that are not aligned with the divine mission. As long as you do not leave these behind, there will be no room for the new things that God wants to bring into your life. 2025 will be a year of revelation and justice. It will be the moment when God will make a clear distinction between those who walk in the light and those who remain in darkness. For the chosen ones, this will mark the beginning of a new era of leadership and purpose. Everything that was hidden will be revealed, and each person will reap exactly what they have sown. Those who have been faithful, persevering, and obedient to God's will shall be honored and exalted. Those who resisted the truth and clung to lies will face the consequences of their choices. For the chosen ones, this will be the time to take a stand. There will no longer be room to hide or flee from the mission. For a long time, many of them lived in anonymity, facing silent trials. They felt the weight of emotional, mental, and spiritual battles, but remained steadfast. Many were underestimated and even despised by those around them. However, God does not forget His own. If He allowed anonymity, it was to protect and strengthen the chosen ones for the right moment. Now, that moment has arrived. 2025 will be the year when masks will fall and the truth will prevail. It will no longer be possible to live by appearances. Lies will be exposed, and those who presented themselves as righteous but acted contrary to it will be revealed. This will not only happen on a social level, but, more importantly, on a spiritual level. The world will see the difference between those who serve God and those who serve themselves. This revelation will not be for destruction, but for correction. God does not operate with vengeance, but with justice. Many who held positions of prominence unjustly will be brought down, while the chosen ones, who were often ignored and despised, will be exalted. The chosen ones know that their purpose is not tied to positions, titles, or social status. Spiritual leadership is not about position, but about mission. Leading in God's kingdom means leading by example, being a beacon of light, and being used by God to transform lives. It is not about seeking recognition or applause, but about fulfilling a divine calling. And that calling has already been made. If you feel in your heart that this message is for you, know that it is not by chance. God is speaking directly to you. If this word touches you, it is because you are part of the chosen ones. You have been called to be a light in the midst of darkness, to be a voice of hope in times of chaos and confusion. God does not choose the prepared. He equips those He chooses. Therefore, it is essential not to allow fear, doubt, or the past to prevent you from fulfilling your mission. Many people become paralyzed because they believe they are not good enough to lead. But God is not looking for perfect people according to human standards. He seeks willing, humble, and obedient hearts. If He called you, it is because He already knows what you are capable of. If you have doubts about your capacity, remember that it will not be by your own strength, but by the power of God that dwells in you.